Hey guys, it's Amanda, also known as Amateur Aries, and today we're doing another kind of Let's Talk, but it's more of a different kind of Let's Talk. It's actually a Zach Let's Talk. He is my husband and caretaker. He takes care of me, and he's gone through what he's gone through for about 6 years now. Today we're going to get his experiences on it. I don't know how to start this, so I wrote down a few questions and see, what he answers to it, because, it's his personal experiences and how he handles it and how he handles me and everything during episodes. Alright, first question. How would you like to have been told about my mental health? If you had, a specific way of being told, how would you have preferred it?
Well, from what I've experienced, there really isn't a good or bad way to be told about it. Mostly because of the fact that no matter what, it wouldn't have changed the issues that she has. When I was first told she's had these issues, I'm pretty sure my reaction would have been the same any other way she would come at it, but it came out as like, okay, that's fine. I haven't experienced any yet when I was first told about it, so I really didn't know the severity. But you can be told about it as many times, but until you experience it, you're not gonna know what it's really like. So no matter what way it comes out, it doesn't change how it really is.
How do you handle the schizophrenic episodes? Not the borderline, the schizophrenic ones.
The schizophrenic ones I handle really well.
Yeah.
Really
Compared
well.
to the borderline ones.
I mean, the schizophrenic ones mostly are her reverting to a childlike state, can't talk, can't do anything until she kind of comes out of it, and can be on and off, where she just kind of sits there and blanks out, rocks a little bit, makes some moaning noises to get my attention or anything like that, and sometimes she'll come right back out of it and then be doing what she's doing again. So when it comes to those, I'm great. I respond to those fairly well. There are other times though where she has other episodes from schizophrenia that isn't childlike, but is kind of, I don't know, how would you say it?
Which ones are you even talking about?
Like the depressing ones, where you're kind of like...
My depression apathy ones?
Yeah.
That's the way I would describe them.
Yeah, she's kind of emotionless, everything is terrible, even what she's into at the current time will just be dead to her. Those ones are a lot harder for me to handle because I can ask her and do anything for her that she could possibly want, and it doesn't fix the issue, which that's sometimes the case. But it's hard for me because I feel like I'm failing.
How about the paranoia?
The paranoia? Well, depending on what the paranoia is fixed on, I can help it. And then there are some things that I have caused in the past that the paranoia is fixated on. And no matter anything I do or say to reinsure her can fix that, because it's one of those things that no matter what the situation is, there's always going to be that what if there. So
how about the really odd ones where it's like, that doesn't make any sense, why are you paranoid about that?
Well, I kind of go about
like that Charles Manson one that I had.
Yeah,
I thought Charles Manson was coming at me in the shower. I was like, oh my god, and it was after he passed away, by the way. I was like, oh my god, he's gonna come at me.
His ghost is gonna come and get her, and I was like, honey, why just you? What pinpointed him to you? And
my answer was, I don't know, but he's coming.
And I mean, for me, when it comes to those nonsense ones, I sometimes take the wrong approach. I'm like, why? And then I already know why, and that can actually cause an episode.
Yeah.
So you gotta tread carefully and not make it seem so petty.
Because to us, it's really happening for us. Like, when I thought that was happening, I thought someone was going to come at me in the shower with a knife. I firmly believed it was happening. I firmly believed it was reality. And he was like, oh, whatever, it's not going to happen. You're fine. Go shower. And it's just like...
Yeah, you got to treat it seriously with them. Because, I mean, once they come back to reality, because it's a delusion. That's what it is. It's a delusion that they believe in.
Paranoia mixed with delusions, yeah.
So what you need to do is just comfort them as if it's serious.
Don't go with it. Just say, everything's okay. Do you want me to sit in there with you or something?
Yeah, what you just need to do is calm down the fire, not take a bucket of water with a little bit of oil in it and try to put it out, because most likely the oil's going to catch. That's borderline. So You just need to roll with it, take it calmly, because I actually did cause an episode with that. Because
next day I was like, how dare you? Just
yeah.
ignore the fact that I was freaking out, sent me in the shower at night by myself. By the way, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning.
I actually told her to bring the cat in there with her.
I was like, he was like, oh, just take the cat. The cat's not gonna save me.
Learn from my failure, and when you have those kind of delusional episodes, don't knock them off as something, whatever, you're stupid, crazy. No, you don't do that. Just don't feed it. Just reassure them that nothing's gonna happen, and comfort them. And then when they come out of it, they'll tell you, yeah, I don't know why, but
sometimes there's times where in the schizophrenic's life where it might not ever go away. You might hit that point with schizophrenia where you might be out of it for maybe a minute and then you're right back in it. And that's the scary thing about schizophrenia, because I'm at that young age where it hasn't gone that far yet, but it can in the future if I don't seek medical treatment. And that's the scary thing about schizophrenia. But I think I'm more scared of my borderline than anything. Let's talk about how you handle my borderline episodes.
Oh man, can we just skip this? I mean,
no.
I may not have her issues, but I have a short fuse when it comes to like aggression, especially if I feel like the situation's petty. Which once I get mad or a little irritated, I'm not thinking as straight as I should be. There are some times where I can prevent the episode from getting worse, but sometimes, like, because she can't control what she's saying and or doing, or how she...
I'm sorry for the noise in the background. We live next to a church, and we didn't realize it was lawn mowing day today. Yeah. So, sorry for the noise in the background. Continue.
But you gotta learn, when it comes to someone who has borderline, they're never gonna mean what they're saying. And I know firsthand that when we get mad as regular people without these disorders, that the same thing will happen. It's just that we can calm down and get over it right after the fact. They can't. They can still be mad about it hours after the fact.
I can be mad for days.
Yeah, she'll bring it back up. Anyways, and she'll start the conversation again later, and I really don't have a different answer. But the whole thing is about a borderline episode with me is that if I feel like I'm being attacked, no matter who you are, whether you have borderline or you're just a regular person being, a jerk to me, I usually respond negatively to that, and I will respond back in retaliation.
Yeah, but you've gotten a lot. He used to be a lot worse. He's definitely gotten better at that.
Yeah, and I mean, generally when there's people, I have patience for days, and I could go to work and I could have a rude customer, and I could walk away from the fact. But I've also been known to give it back to the customer. But anyways, I can generally walk away from it. The only one that can really get me as mad as hell is her, and that's because I love her. And then I hear these things coming out of her towards me. I feel like I'm a terrible person, or I'm failing in some way or form, and I try to reprimand the fact. And then from the ways I failed in the past, borderline brings those back up as ways I'm not going to improve, change, or do the things I say I'm going to do. And I mean, you just keep getting shot down. And I'll tell you right now, there are some times where you can't calm the borderline down. And sometimes you just need to let them vent. Just let them keep venting. And if they ask you a question, I mean, everything can be wrong. There is no such thing as a right answer. Because you could give them what they want, and they'd be like, no, you're just saying that. Or they'll come up with some reason why, it's still wrong, even though you just said what, they wanted. There is no reasoning with borderline. So you just got to learn to be a wimp. Take it, okay? Don't be the tough guy, tough girl. Don't try to retaliate. Be a wimp. Take the beating, all that. Let the borderline calm down, because it's not their fault. They're not really meaning what they're saying. Okay? You can't be mad at them. You can't. Most of the stuff that's coming out of them is things that you've upset them with. So
it could be something small.
Yeah. So you just got to remember, you could kill a fly, and you know that old saying, you kill a butterfly, you like destroy the future, or you craze a tidal wave?
An earthquake could happen in Japan.
Yeah, it's like, that's kind of like how this is. You kill a fly, you just set the devil off, okay? You know, you don't want to make it any worse for them.
Sometimes it won't be a person's fault. It could just be that something happened to me, like I had a nightmare before, and and I warned him, like, hey, I'm on that edge, I can feel it in me, and I can warn him about it. And sometimes I don't think he thinks about when I give the warning, like, hey, try to be on your best behavior where you don't say anything that you know might tick me off a little bit. Because sometimes he just does that. He just finds ways, this and this. I'm like, did you really have to say that? Did you really have to say that?
I'm belligerently annoying
yeah.
and stupid. I love being stupid, making stupid comments, noises. I love doing all that stuff. It entertains me, but it annoys the hell out of her. And I mean, it's bad, but it's good because, you know, I see that as entertainment as well. But that's beyond the point.
It's not entertainment when I'm screaming and then afterwards I'm crying.
I know. When it causes an episode, I feel bad because that's not the point. There are times where it doesn't cause. Anyways, there's times that doesn't cause an episode, and you know we have a little fun with it, but that's rare. She points out I need to learn the good times, when to joke around and be playful.
It depends what you're joking around about.
Well, there are sensitive subjects no one should ever joke about, ever.
Anyway, it's not like I intentionally hurt him and then afterwards I'm not sorry about it. I do apologize, and there was times in a relationship where he was like, hey, you should apologize for the shit you say during these episodes. And I'm like, I can't control the things I'm saying during these episodes, Zach. It's not like I'm not sorry, but it's not me either. And that's the way a borderline feels. And one day I will get to borderline let's talk. I will get to it. Just schizophrenia, the great thing about schizophrenia is that you have keys in schizophrenia. You can talk about like the hallucinations and paranoia. Borderline is just a whole bunch of here. Here you go.
Yeah, it's a big plate full of WTF.
How does having a wife who had these disorders make you see the world compared to before then?
Well, I was never really good with relationships growing up, so I'll be 100% honest with it. My view on the world still hasn't changed. Everyone has what they think they want for their future if they're not currently in a relationship. So when I got with her, what I thought I wanted and what I actually do want are two different things. So it didn't really change my outlook on the world, but it has changed me when it comes to that. I mean, I still see the world as a beautiful place, even with the terrible things that happen in it, so it doesn't...
Does it make you more open-minded?
Well, I've always been open-minded.
I mean, you work what's his name? I want to say Patrick. The other one was schizophrenia.
Andrew.
You work with someone else that has schizophrenia now, and if you would have walked into that beforehand without having known me, you might have approached that a little bit differently.
Oh yeah, I've definitely changed, like I said myself, but I've never...
You know how to handle a situation like that.
Yeah.
If, say he had an episode, he doesn't know how to fully handle it to that type of person or that person with that type of schizophrenia, but now he knows how to like take it. Like, everyone else, calm down. This is a situation. Call his family. I'll help them a little bit. I'll try to make him realize, what's going on. But you know how to know how to take the steps now.
Yeah, and even when it came before this relationship, before I learned borderline or anything, if someone was like going a little like crazy or like losing themselves a little bit, I've never judged them differently than I do now. I mean, I can generally tell when there's an issue, and I learn to defuse the situation as best as I can, or to get someone else to help with it, and I don't judge the person for having these issues or anyone else. So it hasn't really changed my outlook on the world. It hasn't changed it at all.
I was hoping you would say, oh yeah, it's definitely opened my mind to things that could happen to other people's brains.
Well, that wasn't the question.
It's how you see the world differently. You see people's brains differently now. You notice that delusions, paranoia is a real thing. People can see things that are not really... Unlike my dad, who doesn't believe any of that shit.
Well, get more detailed then with your question. Because I thought you wanted me...
I don't think that pisses me off. Mind you, I'm extremely detailed to him never being detailed. The question I didn't write down. How do you handle people who, after meeting me and seeing me with my episodes, have judged me? How do you handle them?
Well, I generally tell them, depending on how the episode went, if they kind of felt targeted or if they were very uncomfortable or if they felt bad for me for some reason, I tell them not to worry. You know, it's not going to change the way I feel towards her and or the way she's going to treat you as a regular person. It was an episode. She doesn't mean the things she does. She doesn't generally even care about these things. It's just like something small borderline decided to pick up on. And or if it's the schizophrenia part, is like she saw this, it's okay, she's calm, you ain't got to worry about it. She isn't a threat to you
Yet.
or anyone else. Well,
maybe one day.
One day towards me, no one else. I'm the only one that's going to take any damage here. But I generally also defuse them on their worries about it, because people who haven't handled borderline and or schizophrenia before do not know how to react to it and or feel about it, and generally that's the reason why, you know, they don't tend to hang around a lot. We've met a lot of people who actually have stuck around and can handle it really well by themselves.
Yeah, Cheyenne knows how to.
Justin,
Cheyenne
Black
knows how.
Hercules.
Every single episode I've ever walked with her to her, she's like, she's settled in seconds. I'm like, how the hell does this woman do this?
Yeah, I mean, really with them, they were naturals from the start, and there was no need to be warning. But, I mean, they would pick on me and be like, oh, you messed up. Because usually it was because of me. So,
yeah. I normally don't go into a borderline episode that often unless there's something happened throughout the day that I always give him a full warning. I'm not angry at you right now, but if I start showing irritation, watch out. And like I said before, he ignorantly steps on my toes and makes the borderline go from that traffic jam that made me have to stop for 5 minutes to Zach. I'm gonna go straight for Zach. No good damn reason, but I'm gonna go after him.
Yeah, that's the best time for me to be in the backseat instead of the passenger.
Yeah.
But
you can still talk.
I mean, all of our friends, they do generally really well without me having to say a word. I mean, there was that beginning conversations like, yeah, she has these issues, but I didn't have to like coach them on how to.
A lot more people are handling it very well. Like if you tell someone that, oh, my wife is schizophrenic, they're like, oh, okay. They don't seem to be that bothered by it anymore. But back in the past, they'd be like, oh.
Well, being bothered by it and then knowing how to handle it when an episode occurs are two different things.
That's not what I'm talking about. I mean, back in the past, how people approached mental disorders is different. How people are more open now about this type of stuff because people are being more educated about it.
Yeah.
Compared to the past, where they thought schizophrenia was split personality disorder, which I still get in the comments saying that I have dissociative identity disorder, which are two completely different things from schizophrenia and that. It's not even close to the same thing.
Yeah,
I don't know why people keep saying, you have DID. I'm like, no, I don't.
And I'll tell you right now, she doesn't have split personality disorder because I live with her. She's the same Amanda, 24/7.
People with borderline have an extreme amount of emotions, meaning if they're depressed, they're on a higher level of depression than the average depressed person. If they're sad, they're on a higher level of sadness than the regular sad person. If they're happy, they're extremely happy. Like, when I'm actually happy, I'm extremely energetic, and I'm going, like, everywhere in seconds.
Imagine being 5 years old and excited about this new toy you just got.
I freaked the fuck out.
That's how she is as an adult with every single emotion.
Provide the reasoning why you don't let me work.
There's a lot of factors that tell me it's worse for her to get a job, go through any particular situation because, say, I work at Walmart full-time. The stress that Walmart puts on an individual is not okay for anyone with borderline to go through. Schizophrenia, I still am on the fence about that. Like I said, I have a coworker that has schizophrenia. He's a great worker, great guy. I love him, and I'm worried about him right now.
Yeah,
because he's going through some issues.
Yeah.
So I'm really hoping everything gets worked out with him because
but he's also on medication too.
Yeah,
so.
they got him, on the right medication. He's doing great, and I just hope he's okay. But he shows that he can work with what he has, and he might have a different form of schizophrenia. There's 3 different forms, if I'm correct, or 4.
I think 4 or 5. I keep forgetting it.
I was way off.
Disorganized, catatonic,
Schizophrenic.
Paranoid.
Oh yeah, I said schizophrenic.
Schizoaffective. So far 4. I think there is one more now, and I do not remember the name of it.
Okay, so there's 4 different types, and they all affect the individual differently. So I'm not sure if he has the same type as her. I know she's paranoid.
Yeah.
He just hears voices, and he responds back to them. So,
which is a lot of the schizophrenics have a lot of similar things, but delusions usually disorganized usually means that. I don't remember what that one means, but I think it has to do with them getting lazy easily or something. I don't remember. Catatonic is where they kind of just go. Kind of like I do a lot.
Yeah, you blank out a lot.
But I know I'm a paranoid schizophrenic because my paranoia is extremely high.
You have way more symptoms underneath paranoid schizophrenia than catatonic.
And I've been diagnosed by a psychologist that I'm paranoid schizophrenia, and it's just I've stuck with that because I haven't been with any other psychiatrist long enough to be re-diagnosed or written down for it.
So, I mean, again, if you're underneath the right medication, you're level-headed, you're able to do your work, you're not falling asleep, if you're able to get a job, great, please do it, because it'll make you feel better to know that you're earning a living, you're working hard just like a regular person.
You're going back into society.
Yeah, she doesn't feel a part of society, and YouTube is what's actually helping her feel like she's doing something. So that's another reason why she does all these videos and has several channels. She does really well with it, and she makes a little bit of money, and it makes her feel useful.
Okay, how do you handle this altogether after having to deal with it? How I'm trying to find a better way of describing it.
After an episode, how do I handle it?
No, how do you handle it as a person having to deal with so much stress from all this? I know a lot of people are asking about because it's stressful for someone to take care of someone like me.
Okay, when it comes down to it, what I do when it comes to handling the stress, the only thing I'm stressed out about is maybe saying the wrong thing and or causing an episode. Because when it comes to your schizophrenic episodes, those are completely different. The ones that I try to avoid, that I worry about the most, is the borderline.
I'm asking how you handle it, not how you handle the episodes. How do you handle it as a person afterwards? Some people go to talk groups. Some people do this.
I let it go. I don't let it sit inside me and I want to pick a fight about it later, or I don't let that stuff bother me. What I do for a stress relief is that I work. I love to work, period. And I love going to work. If I spend more than 2 days, 3 days off from work, it bugs the crap out of me. And I go to the gym a lot. I go to the gym 5 to 6 times a week. That all helps with any physical issues that I want to exert. And other than that, I don't hold any issues other than that. I know certain buttons not to bring up, not to say, not to talk about. Ever. And usually those things prevent a lot of the episodes, but sometimes, like we've already said, I'm stupid, and that annoyance causes an episode. So when it comes to that, I can't control it, but I let it go. Okay, I don't worry about it. Episodes are going to happen. You cannot prevent them. They're just going to happen. You just need to learn to deal with it when it happens.
Even with medication, they can still occur. It's called relapsing. Doesn't mean it's going to occur all the time. It's just going to be drive down a lot. And, it's just going to still happen.
Yeah. I mean, my philosophy is if you're constantly worrying all the time, constantly stressed out, you're not living your life. You're surviving. And that's not a way to live. The best thing you could do is not worry about it. Make their life fun, make your life fun, and just enjoy the moment, okay?
I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any more questions to me or to Zach, tell us and I'll write them down, and I will try to get to a video again. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and keep watching for more videos.